Speaking notes of the Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessar SC, MP, political leader of the United National Congress, leader of the opposition UNC campaign meeting, Moruga, Tableland, Vickers Car Park, Thursday, 24th April 2025. The gift is love that gives us energy. On my hand, I have a friendship bracelet that I got as a birthday gift from a little girl named Sushila. Thank you, Sushila. Gifts are given as a sign of love and affection. They are gifts between ordinary, everyday people who just want to get along in love and happiness while making things work. But beyond the gift of things, there is the gift of support, a smile, a hug, or a high five, the gift of a kind, supportive word, the gift of friendship, and the gift of love. These are also gifts we all remember and cherish. My source of strength is the incredible gift of love that so many of you have shown me over the last 10 years. What truly inspires me is that many of you have suffered under this oppressive government, but despite that, you all found the courage and strength to come out and support me and our great party. Despite the battering, bruising, pain, and punishment of this PNM government, we have held together. So this gift of love we have for each other is being felt by everybody. And the PNM propaganda machine can't understand or perceive it. They don't know how to respond. It is sending the PNM eating our food financiers insane. The insanity has caused them to forget. The PNM forgot that they closed down Petrotrin, cut laptops, textbooks, scholarships, and school transport, and attempted to cut your senior citizens' pensions just last November. They also forgot that they were increasing water and electricity rates, implementing property taxes, and raising fuel prices 6 times. They forgot that they caused the cost of living to skyrocket. Some days I wonder which party the PNM candidates are campaigning for. Listening to them, you would swear that they were not the government for the past 10 years. The PNM candidates are actually highlighting their own party's negligence on the campaign trail. Although we are feeling the powerful currents of love, although we want to give back the gifts of kindness, peace, and safety to our country, although we want to bring back prosperous, winning lives to our citizens, we can't be complacent on Election Day. We must keep our faith because we want everybody to win again. We are completely fed up with the PNM fake elite financiers bleeding and bleeding citizens. Let us change that on Monday, April 28th. No more should you be going to work every day, fearing that you may lose your job. No more fear of murder and violent crime. No more loss of your property. No more loss of your vehicle to theft and then still have to pay off the loan on it. No more loss of your voice. No more loss of your rights and privileges. No more loss of health care. No more loss of your happiness. It is time for you to live a winning life. When UNC wins, everybody wins. It's the most honest promise in this country's political messaging history. When UNC wins, everybody wins, which is simply the truth. When UNC wins, everybody wins is a fact. When I say everybody wins, I mean everybody. My role is to serve all our people equally and fairly, and that is what I will do. And that is what our candidates will do because the people of this country are destined for greatness. While some parties refer to themselves as great and claim they shall prevail, we in the UNC know that true greatness is in the citizens of our country. The PNM are promising everything under the sun after delivering nothing for 10 years, after neglecting the real people for 10 years, after 10 years of bullying, cries, and mamagui. We have already presented 7 sectoral manifestos. Tonight we have our agriculture and youth development manifestos. When UNC wins, agriculture wins. Under the UNC, agriculture will no longer be the forgotten sector. It will become a cornerstone of our economic diversification, job creation, and food sovereignty strategy. We will transform agriculture into a high-value, tech-enabled, export-driven industry capable of feeding our people, generating foreign exchange, creating sustainable jobs, and protecting our environment. The current crisis, a nation at risk. Over 85% of food is imported, costing over $6 billion annually. Food insecurity looms with just 14 days of supply in a crisis. Our agricultural industries have been devastated by neglect, underinvestment, crime, and poor planning. Our 2025 to 2030 targets: create 10,000 new jobs, reduce the food import bill by $2 billion, generate $1 billion in agricultural exports, and raise agriculture's contribution to GDP to 5%. Key strategic pillars: resolving historic injustices, Coroni workers, and cane farmers. All outstanding residential and agricultural land under the VSEP will be delivered. Severance, pensions, and EU cane farmer payments will be paid in full, lands will be transferable, and justice will be restored. Sugar industry revival, a state-of-the-art cooperative sugar factory will be established at Usine Sainte-Madeleine, producing organic sugar and high-value products for domestic and export markets. Unlocking land for agricultural growth. 25,000 acres for agricultural parks, leased from former Coroni lands. These fully serviced 100-plus acre parks will focus on high-demand crops, superfoods, and import substitution. Land title reform. We will fast-track the issuance of land deeds for farmers, enabling access to financing and long-term security. Strengthening infrastructure and water management, National Water Plan, drainage, irrigation, flood control, and conservation initiatives will ensure year-round productivity and climate resilience. 500 million PSIP commitment. At least 10% of the public sector investment program will go to farm access roads, irrigation, and infrastructure. Boosting farmer security and incentives, agricultural insurance system, multi-peril crop and livestock insurance, government subsidized and administered by the ADB. Wage support program to support hiring and attract youth to agriculture. Incentivized loans, special low-interest financing via the ADB and commercial banks. Combating agricultural crime, Pradial Larceny Squad, activated within the TTPS with full arrest powers. Special Agricultural Court to handle theft cases swiftly with harsher penalties. Modernizing farming and training, agri-tech and AI farming, precision agriculture, digital tools, and smart greenhouses. Training centers, launch of the Trinidad and Tobago Agricultural Training and Technology Center, university partnerships, courses in agro-entrepreneurship, farm management, and value-added production. Reviving strategic agricultural industries. Cocoa, establish cocoa fermentaries, processing plants, and a cocoa investment fund. Promote high-value, fine flavor exports. Rice, bring 6,500 acres into rice production, establish a new rice mill, and support seed production. Livestock and dairy, expand forage programs, import high-yield breeds, and build a pasteurization facility for goat milk. Fisheries, restore gasoline supply for boats, protect ports, and invest in sustainable fishing infrastructure. Coconuts, replant 1 million trees, develop a vibrant coconut-based product industry, export expansion and value-added agriculture, agro-processing zones, new facilities at Brecon Castle and other hubs for drying, canning, and preserving fruits and vegetables, Exim Bank export support, dedicated facility to finance exporters of agricultural products, farm-to-table tourism, incentivize culinary and ecotourism ventures linked to agriculture, Buy Local, Grow Local campaign, VAT removal on locally produced meat, dairy, and agricultural goods, import duty hike on foreign food items to protect domestic producers, local content mandate, grow feed, molasses, and raw materials locally for large manufacturers like Angostura and Whitco, global partnerships for local innovation, partnering with the Netherlands, India, and the Philippines to adopt best-in-class agri-technologies, commercializing research from UWI and UTT with a creator-owned innovation model, institutional reform, streamline the ADB and NAM DevCo to enhance access to finance and foreign markets, digital agricultural land inventory to guide planning and ensure transparent land use. A vote for the UNC is a vote for food security, economic independence, and national pride. When UNC wins, youth development wins. Trinidad and Tobago face a youth emergency. Skills training programs have collapsed or become irrelevant to the modern economy. Graduates leave school or university with no job prospects, disillusioned and directionless. Values and attitudes have eroded, replaced by a survivalist culture of instant gratification. Gangs have become the most accessible path to income and identity for too many. Criminal activity has exploded, and it is not the elderly breaking into homes or trafficking guns. It is our unattached, unsupported, and untrained youth. The PNM government has abandoned an entire generation. The UNC will not. Key policy initiatives: National Youth Empowerment and Transformation Plan. Goal: create a unified strategy across ministries for youth development. Action: establish a cross-sector youth cabinet and implement a 5-pillar plan: education, employment, engagement, entrepreneurship, and empowerment. Impact provides a national roadmap for supporting youth holistically. Youth Skills and Career Training Corps. Goal: deliver real market-driven training for youth not in school, work, or training. NEAT. Action: expand and modernize technical vocational centers, introduce mobile training units, and forge partnerships with private sector employers. Impact: reduces idle time, builds self-worth, and gives youth a clear pathway to independence. Paid apprenticeship and internship. Guarantee. Goal: bridge the gap between graduation and employment. Action: guarantee a paid internship or apprenticeship to every secondary and tertiary graduate within 6 months of graduation through partnerships with businesses, NGOs, and state agencies. Impact: reduces youth unemployment and provides workplace experience that employers demand. National Life Skills and Values Program. Goal: instill discipline, respect, civic responsibility, and emotional resilience in youth. Action: launch a national life-ready curriculum in schools and community centers. Topics will include conflict resolution, teamwork, emotional intelligence, patriotism, and career planning. Impact: fills the gap in emotional and social education that leads too many youth into gangs. National Youth Employment Initiative, YEI. Goal: create thousands of entry-level and part-time jobs targeted at 16-30-year-olds. Action: partner with SMEs, local governments, and NGOs to provide work opportunities in agriculture, digital services, environmental cleanup, elder care, and creative industries. Impact: keeps youth productive, lowers unemployment, and reduces the economic lure of criminality. Gangs out, opportunities in violence disruption. Program. Goal: intervene directly with at-risk youth in high-crime areas. Action: expand community-based outreach programs, mentorships with reformed ex-offenders, conflict mediation teams, and school re-entry pathways. Impact: disrupts gang recruitment, creates role models, and saves lives. Youth zones and community innovation hubs. Goal: provide safe, creative spaces for youth to learn, collaborate, and thrive. Action: retrofit underused community centers into 21 century youth hubs with access to Wi-Fi, equipment, creative tools, and mentorship. Impact: transforms communities into engines of opportunity, not recruitment grounds for gangs. Strategic reforms for youth empowerment. National Youth Service Program. A voluntary paid one-year service for 18-25-year-olds that offers structured work in social, environmental, and public sector projects. Participants receive a stipend and priority access to further education or job placement. Youth Policy Review Commission. A task force to review and reform all national youth programs and institutions for relevance and impact. Digital passport for youth, a trackable digital resume that includes certifications, soft skills, work experience, and training used to connect youth with employers and institutions. Immediate actions. First 120 days, career acceleration and graduate placement program. Partner with key industries to absorb youth into productive employment. OJT redesign. Launch updated placements with industry alignment and mentorship frameworks. Youth quota in public sector hiring. Mandate every ministry to onboard qualified youth through a fair, transparent process. 5-year National Youth Development Plan. Initiative Year 1 to 2, Youth Housing, YHI, Design, Allocate Subsidies, Acquire Land, Police Youth Club Expansion, Increase Funding and Staffing, Mental Health Infrastructure, Launch Wellness Centers and Training, Governance Reform, Draft Legislative Changes Initiative, Year 3 to 5, Youth Housing, YHI, Launch Financing Partnerships, Expand Home Ownership, Police Youth Club Expansion, Build Interagency Partnerships, Extend Reach, Mental Health Infrastructure, Integrate Mental Health Education in Schools, Universities, Governance Reform, Launch Youth Senate Advisory Council, Transforming the Youth Landscape. We are clear-eyed about the stakes. When a young man says, bandit is a real job, we are not dealing with a crime problem. We are dealing with a crisis of opportunity and dignity. The UNC will disrupt the pipeline to gangs and replace it with a pathway to growth. We will ensure that a 16-year-old in Enterprise, La Romaine, Laventille, or Mayaro has more to hope for than a gun or a hustle. We will make being skilled, educated, and employed more rewarding than being feared, and we will give every young person a chance to belong, to contribute, and to lead. With the UNC, we will create a new national promise that no youth will be left behind and no talent will go undeveloped. First-time voters. I want to take a moment to speak directly to first-time voters tonight, particularly our young people who may have been between 8 and 12 years old when this PNM government came into office. What you see happening today with all this hardship, out-of-control crime, home invasions, murders, joblessness, and hopelessness is not how Trinidad and Tobago used to be. There is a big difference between the UNC and other parties, especially the PNM. The UNC party serves the people when the UNC is in government. However, when the PNM is in government, the people end up serving the PNM's fake elite party financiers. Let me repeat that. There is a big difference between the UNC and other parties, especially the PNM. The UNC party serves the people when the UNC is in government. However, when the PNM is in government, the people end up serving the PNM's fake elite party financiers. I know that successful communication is not just about listing all the endless failures of the PNM. The UNC must remain clear about how you as a voter will win with the UNC and have the best life. That is why our campaign has been positive and full of plans, policies, and ideas. Our team knows this is a noisy time and great ideas will be lost. So what they did was to figure out the most brilliant way to share with you what matters, our plans. So they created our overwhelmingly successful manifestos. They are incredibly well designed to be short, easy to read and understand, and with completely workable wins. Hundreds of thousands of people all over the country are reading and are hooked on our manifestos. This is not by accident. It is because we listened to you for 10 years, so we know what you want. Every year, we undertook nationwide consultations and weekly meetings, following our great party's founding principles and tenets, to be the people's voice and faithfully represent their interests and needs. The UNC has a legacy of caring. Everything we do must always have a positive, direct, and tangible effect on the lives of everyday citizens. We work to make lives better. When citizens are experiencing hardship, we want to know and help. The real people know the truth about what's happening in the country. They live it and they feel it. Unfortunately, Stuart Young and his daddy's financiers live in a bubble and don't know what life is like for most Trimbagonians. Have they ever listened to the people? Have they even listened to the people in their own constituencies? Have they ever listened to how their negligent and oppressive policies affect our citizens? Have they listened to people's dreams, hopes, aspirations, and ideas? I can confidently say that this PNM government has never listened to you. That is why the country has gone backwards in every area except for the crime rate. Unlike the PNM, UNC has always maintained that we will not leave any citizen behind. Through us, citizens will always have a voice. Every day, citizens are being burdened. This government and its ministers are affecting death by 1,000 cuts. They add an ounce of burden, then an ounce of pain, then another ounce of horror, and repeat. They do this over and over again to the population until people have learned to be helpless and hopeless, till they are timid and terrorized, till they are crippled and paralyzed. Never once did the PNM government ask the people how they felt about the cost of living. They never asked you how their wage freezes, lockdowns, foreign exchange restrictions, social services cuts, and other oppressive measures have affected workers, fathers, mothers, children, heads of household, young people, the elderly, the retired, and the disabled. After $530 billion, $500 billion spent, that is the legacy of this PNM government. PNM, people never matter. Place your first vote for the UNC. Place your first vote next to the rising sun. Place your first vote for you and your family, because when UNC wins, everybody wins. In conclusion, we are on the cusp of one of the most momentous elections in our beloved nation's history. What you decide on Monday, the 28th of April in the voting booth will determine your future and your families for generations to come. We have the initiatives, we have the solutions, we have the purpose. I have served you previously as Prime Minister and demonstrated the compassionate, courageous, and competent leadership that saw Trinidad and Tobago experience its best years, with the largest inputs into our nation's foreign reserves, which were unfortunately raided and depleted to their lowest levels by the current PNM administration. Trinidad and Tobago was seeing the light on curbing crime with innovative initiatives and courageous decisions. Unemployment was at its lowest during my administration. There was a surge of investor confidence when the UNC was in office under my leadership. More schools were built, more hospitals were built and modernized. Without a shadow of a doubt, my compassionate, courageous, and competent leadership improved you and Trinidad and Tobago in every sense. This is in contrast to the couldn't care less, arrogant, bullying, self-serving, negligent, and abrasive behavior of the young Rowley tag team. A new administration under my leadership will open new opportunities and implement innovative, urgently needed solutions to address our nation's needs. We start from day one. As bad as things are, we can turn them around once we have a competent, caring leader whose heart is in the right place. And ask yourself this question. If you wanted someone to look after the welfare of your children, would you entrust their safety to the bully, Stuart Young, or to me, who loves you and your children? With all humility, I think you know that the answer is me. And under our tent, there is room for everyone. I don't care what party you supported, who you are, or where you're from. There is a place and space for you all. As we promised throughout this campaign, when the UNC wins, everybody wins. Go out and vote for the end of this wicked Stuart Young chapter. Close this wicked chapter on this decade of destruction each of us has endured. May God guide and bless you. You have had leaders before me, you will have leaders after me, but you will never ever have a leader who loves you more than I do. I love you all.